Right now. Hi, welcome to the National Critics Trust of Robin Stienberg, and we have Mr. Jeremiah and Wendy Ginsberg, who are the producers and the director for Sweet Esther, that's happening in Washington, D.C. Mr. Ginsberg, please tell us more about the show and how it came about.
Well, we first of all, let me just say that we are producing Sweet Esther, an operetta, at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. on the evening of
Sunday, July 30th.
Thank you. That's my beautiful wife, Wendy.
That's just 10 days from now.
Right, and this is just a wonderful operetta. I was a Broadway attorney and actually a writer since I was a little boy, a composer. A lot of my songs were recorded by major artists. Trell, Kay Starr, Gloria Lynn, Helen Merrill, and others. And many years ago, my beautiful wife, Wendy, who was my co-writer, co-producer, co-everything, the love of my life, she wrote a play, and we had, I was kind of burnt out. I was kind of exhausted because we had produced our show, Rabboni, off-Broadway in 1985, and it was a really big hit. And we were involved with just so many things, and I was kind of tired, kind of burnt out.
Then we moved down to Florida.
And then we moved down to Florida. Oh yeah, I had made a cast recording of Rabboni in New York City with a bunch of Broadway, off-Broadway actors, and I was like worn out. And we came down to Florida, and we joined a congregation. And Wendy said, "Honey, they want to start a drama ministry, and I want to write something on the Book of Esther." And
it was a Purim play.
It was a Purim play, and I said, "Well, you know, I'm really not up for it right at the moment." But she used one of my songs, and she wrote it, and it was packed out, and it was a smash hit. Everybody loved it because Wendy's a brilliant writer. She's wonderful. My wife has the most wonderful sense of humor. I mean, she can turn anything into a joke. I mean, it's a very dry but very effective and wonderful. She makes me laugh. It's really good. All right. So anyway, so she wrote this thing, and it was a smash hit, and they jumped to their feet screaming. So, and she put it away. And I guess it was 19 years later that we were producing another one of our musicals, Mendel and Moses, over in Clearwater, Florida. We do a lot of producing in New York City, off-Broadway, and in involved with Broadway production at the moment, pre-Broadway, pre-production Broadway, and we had in our cast in Clearwater Giorgio Aristo, who is a world-class tenor, very famous in Europe, and his wife Melody Kielish, again a world-class soprano, very famous in Europe. But they live in the area, in the Clearwater, Tampa area of Florida, and Giorgio was playing the role of Pharaoh, and that in and of itself was a major experience, very fun experience, and you didn't tell me there was going to be text. Anyway, Giorgio, I sent you a script. What are you talking about? Anyway, but it was a wonderful, wonderful blessing, and Melody was in the audience. She wasn't in our show. And Robin, she came up to me afterwards and she said to me something that was startling. She said, "Jeremiah, this was so magnificent." She said, "Your melodies you are a modern day Puccini." And I was, she was a professional. She was not not some audience member telling me that. And so I said, she said, "You got to write an opera." And I said, "Well, I wouldn't know where to start." I said, "I'm a musical theater writer, but I wouldn't know how to write an opera. But if I decided to, what would I write? What would you suggest?" And she said, "The Book of Esther is the most wonderful story." Now, I totally forgot about the fact that Wendy had written it years before. And so I said, "All right, well, thank you. God bless you." But I decided that I would take a shot at it. So I wrote the first half of the aria, "If I perish, I will perish." And I played it for her over the phone, and she loved it. And so I determined that I would write the opera because I figured maybe she'll be in it. You know, maybe she and her husband will be in it, and you know, it would be not less. Well, at least we've had fun about it. So I wrote nothing. I stopped cold because I got involved with another one of our shows, The Time of Mendel's Trouble, that we were producing at the Beacon Theater in New York City, on 42nd Street, New York City. And many years later, or 5 years later, I saw that they were doing the presidential inaugural prayer breakfast in 2013, and I knew the lady who was producing it because she had produced something years before, and she used one of my videos for and she did it with this big banquet dancers and everything. So I called her and I said, "Listen, I just wonder whether you would like us to be involved." She said, "Absolutely." And I said, "I've written this operetta." We asked her. She said, "Oh my God, the theme for this presidential prayer breakfast is Esther." So you know, the Queen of Persia. So I jumped to the end of that story. We performed it, arias there. That's all I'd written. Just maybe 3 or 4 songs from me. So we got a standing ovation. We brought 4 of our actors down, and the musical track I orchestrate my own music. And it was just a magnificent event, and they loved it. And there was a pastor there who said, "Jeremiah, I feel that I invite you to bring this whole production to our concert in New Jersey, Paramus, New Jersey, Maranatha, Charlie Rizzo, Pastor Charlie Rizzo." and oh, I forgot to tell that what I did was I decided to write an opera. All of a sudden, an operetta on the Book of Esther. All of a sudden, I remembered what Wendy had done many years before, and I took it out. We had trouble finding it. It was in a computer, an old computer that we had, in the storage. We found the script and we pulled it out, we printed it out, and I started orchestrating. Honey, you want to talk? Come on.
Yeah.
You're good at it.
So my brilliant husband orchestrated and musicalized the script that we had written 20-something years ago, and put everything to music. It's gorgeous, and we presented this beautiful musical in Paramus, New Jersey, and the audience went wild. It was standing ovations, and it was just such a blessing.
We did 3 performances there.
And then we showed about Iran, the terrible Iran deal that Obama had done. But this go home. I said, let's do Esther, Sweet Esther in Washington, D.C., where they make a film concerning Iran and Israel, because our shows are Bible-based. The Bible is God's word. God is a father to Israel. He has plans. The Iranians, who are the descendants of the old Persians, they think that they're going to wipe Israel off the map. But God has another plan for his people. He says, all Israel shall be saved, and the deliverance will come out of Zion. And this musical that we've written, Esther, Sweet Esther, tells us of ancient Persia and save the Jewish people from a Holocaust. They're going to be in a Holocaust. And so that's why we're doing this show.
Yeah, but I want to tell this. So Wendy said to me, "Honey, let's do the story on Esther. Let's do it in Washington. We got to do it in Washington." And I said, said, Wendy, we can't do it. We can't production or with another one of our musicals, Robo's Messiah. I said, and we have our team in New York, Kent Davenport, management. We have LLC with our Broadway attorney, and we're starting to raise money. And there's no way that we have our websites. No way that we can switch gears right now, honey. And the next day, I get an invitation on LinkedIn from Jan Duplain, who is preeminent publicist, PR lady, and marketing expert in Washington, D.C. that I had talked to years ago after the prayer breakfast, and we started to talk. She was quite interested, and we dropped it because we became so I contacted Jan, and the rest is history. She said, yes, absolutely. That's one of my favorite stories. Absolutely, let's do it. And she is a bloody genius. I'm telling you. We just did a reception at the Press Club last week with a couple of our singers, and it was mobbed, and met so many significant social people in Washington, D.C. And so now we're going to be opening on the 30th.
We have a one-night-only gala performance of Esther Sweet Esther at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C.
That's right.
Sunday, July 30th at 7 p.m.
With an opera star, Lubana Alpuntar, who is one of the most magnificent voices, dramatic coloratura soprano playing the role of Esther. And we have all of our performers are Broadway, off-Broadway level performers. They've all performed Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, Evita. You know, they're all top performers. Of course, I play the role of storyteller. I didn't want to do that because I'm also the director and orchestrator, but we have full orchestrations, and it's going to be gorgeous, and it's a couple of live musicians to join in with the tracks, and it's going to be a magnificent evening, and we're doing lighting design and videos and all kinds of stuff. Anyway.
Sponsorship because we want to produce a limited engagement in the Washington, D.C. area theater, and from there bring the show to New York City, to Broadway, and around the world.
Israel and Singapore.
Even to Singapore.
Yes. Now, in the interest of time, could you tell our viewers where can they find more information pertaining to a show?
Well, we have a website. It's called EstherSweetEsther.com. It's just all lowercase, no spaces, EstherSweetEsther.com. And you can get all the history of the show, information about sponsorships, information about buying tickets if you're going to be in Washington, D.C. And we would love so much to hear from you.
All of our designs by Matt Davidson, who's the head designer for Disney. They're going to be flashed on a screen. All of our, we have videos up there from limited from Paramus. We have all kinds of stuff up there. All of our actors, where they've been, what they've done. So it's EstherSweetEsther.com. Again, http:// no www, EstherSweetEsther.com.